Founded overseas in 1931, Lanark is today a third-generation company based in Melbourne, with branches in every major Australian city and a thriving export business, servicing clients in the United Kingdom, Europe and Asia. Today we're going to give you a guided tour of our manufacturing facility based at our head office in Dandenong, Melbourne. You'll see how we turn this and this into this. Let's start at the beginning of the process. Firstly, the acrylic sheet in the selected colour is placed in a frame and heated to a specified temperature. The heated sheet is then laid on the mould and a vacuum applied. Once the sheet has cooled and set, it is removed from the mould and inspected for any blemishes. The shell is then moved to the spraying area, where we apply the fiberglass reinforcement to the rear. Firstly, a waterproof vinyl ester resin is applied, then several layers of fiberglass are added using a chopper gun. Lanark is renowned for having the thickest fiberglass coating in the industry, giving our spars unparalleled strength and insulation. Wooden support beams are added at this stage and glassed into the structure of the shell. The fiberglass is then rolled with particular attention paid to the cornices so that no air is trapped between shell and fiberglass. Next, the shell is trimmed using a diamond-plated trim saw. The saw operator also sands the edge of the spar to ensure that the lip is smooth. Meanwhile, in another part of the factory, the cabinet is being assembled. Firstly, the wood is trimmed into standard lengths. These are then placed in a jig to assemble each panel, which is also supported by an internal frame. The assembled panel is then dipped into an oil-stained tank. This ensures that the cabinet pieces are stained at the front and back to avoid moisture absorption, which can lead to warping, and also to give a pleasant appearance. After drying out, the door is insulated and the cabinet assembled. Corner braces are fitted for rigidity and to avoid damage when the spar is placed on its side during the remainder of the manufacturing process. The kickboard is hand-painted black. Next, the spar is marked and drilled. During the vacuum forming process, the shell was automatically marked with dimples to assist in consistent jet placement. Each hole is now marked using these dimples, then drilled and finished to ensure a snug fit. The spar is then laid on its side so the jet holes can be smoothed from the rear. Once the holes have been drilled, the jets are attached from front and rear with silicone added to both sides for a watertight fit. The spar is then placed upside down and the manifolds attached, then glassed to prevent movement. Next, the hoses are attached. This is a two-stage process. Firstly, glue is applied to the tube and manifold, then clamps attached. The tubes are flexible to allow for movement at startup, minimizing strain on the shell. The cabinet is then placed onto the spar and screwed into the wooden support beams that we saw being glassed during the spraying process. A sawdust and resin compound is added to the base of the cabinet, gluing the base of the shell and cabinet together to prevent movement between the two and enhance rigidity. The spar is now flipped and the rest of the equipment attached. Firstly, a piece of marine plyboard is fixed to the base of the cabinet. We use marine plyboard to again avoid warping due to moisture. The pump equipment is then attached to the board connected to the pipe system and the wiring completed. All our spars are rigorously water tested using a 24-point check. For this we use water heated to a temperature of 40 degrees. Although this is hotter than a customer would use, we need to see how each spar performs in an extreme environment where the pipes expand and contract quickly. This way we can be confident there will be no leaks when the spar is installed. Each jet is checked and the control pad functions tested. The water is then drained, the spar flipped, and foam applied to the pipes. This thick layer of foam performs two important functions. Firstly, it insulates the pipes to reduce heat loss, and also holds them in place to prevent movement whilst the spar is in operation. A durable ABS base is stapled to the structure, then trimmed, and the kickboard is detailed in black. After flipping once more, the spa is ready for delivery. This involves foam wrap, cardboard corners and side protectors, a top cover and stretch wrap. Then it's onto the pallet and on its way to a happy customer. Well, the tour's just about over and we hope you enjoyed it. Now you too can see why we at Lanark say,
Lanark Spas, it's quality time.